able to do is look at these kinds of data sets in 3D and actually look at the pillars and understand what's happening and how they're structured. And a lot of this you would not intuitively guess from these 2D images. And so I'm going to let that run around. And what's fun is you can see, let's see, can I hit this again? There we go. So the stuff, can I pause it? Well, here's can I get my mouse? There we go. This stuff, you can see there's this faint stuff behind it. That's actually a supernova wind that's blowing through and pushing these pillars over, literally pushing them over. So when Mark Pound, who's the astronomer who got this data, saw this, he was very, very happy. So the question, since we're talking about jobs and careers, the question is, for a project like this, who actually works on it? So here's a team of the primary people responsible for working on this project. And we actually have many other collaborators, but this is the core. So there's a few pieces. You have the astronomy professor, and she does all the very specific in-depth astronomy, questions. Another astronomer who happens to be very, very smart and good with computers, who's able to help us. We have the computer scientist turned radiologist, so he has some good background in both areas and connections to medical. We have the software engineer, so we actually need a real computer scientist to help us out and help us build our tools. And then, well, I'm kind of the go-between, synthesize, run around kind of person. But it's not just running around, it's literally I take the ideas and data from all these different scientists and I figure out how to get it all to work together and how to exchange the ideas. And just to give the names of who these people actually are. So what is my research job really like? Well, I end up having to have a few different homes, and I work at Brigham and Women's Hospital and Mass General Hospital, part of the Harvard Med School system. I work at the astronomy department, and I'm based at the engineering school and the IIC, which is the Initiative in Innovative Computing. It's a computing institute there. And I literally have to be able to go all these places and speak the language. This is an interesting thing. You don't think of it, and it's true for any career, but talking with different scientists, you have to speak what language they're used to. So when I talk to astronomers, I'm talking in parsecs and light years, about galaxies and black holes and brown dwarfs, and I have to know that. When I'm at the hospital, I'm talking in terms of CT and MRI scanners and resolutions of the scanners, and knowing sort of anatomy and the difference where the cerebellum is in the brain. I have to know that language. In the engineering school, I really have to know computer science. I have to know what the tools are being coded in. I need to know the languages. So I get to have fun translating, if you will, and learning all these disciplines. Astronomy, I actually get to travel and get the data myself. That's, in case you're curious, the Green Bank Radio Telescope. It's massive in that picture. It's over 2 miles behind me. You can literally put multiple football fields lying in that dish and get the data from there. I run to the hospital and I actually learn the software. I get to talk with the radiologists and get the computer skills. But then I bring back, so here I'm pictured analyzing astronomy data, but with the same tools that the doctors use. I bring it back to the astronomy world, vice versa. Here I've taken astronomy visualization and analysis techniques, and I'm teaching them to a doctor to analyze images. So it all kind of runs around. And then here's just some samples of the images that were on those computer screens, but they were too tiny to see. So on the right side, you can see an example of a human brain that's been segmented. On the left, same thing, a star-forming region that we've taken apart. And on the bottom is that human cornea example, the medical image from before. And we're analyzing it and color-coding it according to astronomy techniques. So let's see. So has this helped us? Yes. And instead of explaining, I'm going to show a short 30-second little demo movie that will show you some stuff in action and point out some features that we could not have discovered without the software itself. So, come on.
Viewing the data as separate images is difficult to interpret. Even trained astronomers have trouble identifying all the features revealed in large, complex data sets. Using the medical imaging software to import and process this data, surfaces of similar values stand out clearly, giving a structure.
This 3D visualization allows me to better view the air-dense regions and velocity structure of the gas. We have been able to identify dozens of jets, a large bubbler shell, and many smaller shells and voids in the cloud structure. Work that might have taken months using traditional methods only took hours with this software. Some of the features we identified would likely never have been uncovered without the 3D visualization.
For the sake of time, I'm going to stop it there, but I'll put up later. My website has a full 6-minute version of that you can look at some other time. Okay. Okay, so how am I doing on time? Good? Okay, so that's one interdisciplinary example. Question is, can you do this another time? Can you take random people from different areas and bring it together? And the answer is yes. So my newest endeavor is called the Multiscale Hemodynamics Project. And what you're looking at here is an artistic representation of plaque that is deposited behind, within the artery, basically rupturing into the bloodstream. When someone has a heart attack, it's because one of these areas, deposits, has ruptured and gone into the bloodstream, and somewhere down the way it's gotten clogged up. So doctors are interested, can we find where these deposits are? Can we find where these ruptures are going to happen before they happen? Unfortunately, the doctors are always telling me most people don't know they have a heart problem until they have a heart attack. And there's very few warning signs, so having an early detection is nice. Now, to solve this problem, we put together a team of cardiologists, radiologists, physicists, and computer scientists. And you really need all those people working together and trying to learn and accommodate to each other's fields in order to solve a problem like this. And the way we're solving this, let's see, is by getting CT data. So we have patients, they go through the CT scanner and we get their raw data. Then we go ahead, and the cardiologists and radiologists do this. They work on the segmentation. They sort of take that raw data, process it, turn it into something. Then computer scientists work on helping us take this medical imaging and turn it into a grid base. And this way, the physicists were able to write simulations, basically take and it'll be clear when I show a picture, but take blood in the computer simulation and run it through the patient's heart. And then we're able to understand what's going on. You can't do that. You can't measure things like blood flow velocity. You can't measure the stress or the pressure in the arteries. You can't do it. So the only option is to simulate what the body's doing. And then, of course, where I come in primarily is at the end and get all the output and all the simulation and work on the visualization. So this stuff is mostly not published yet, so this is a very new project, but you can see some examples of human arteries and veins and the color coding for how we've run the simulation through it. And what's fun is for an image like here, so in the lower right, there's a little drawing of the heart, and you can see where the vein is that we're looking at, the left coronary artery. What's fun is for this visualization project, this software was developed for doing physics visualizations, particle accelerator visualizations, different physics simulations. And I couldn't find, believe it or not, a medical program that would let me do the 3D imaging that I wanted. So after that whole experience with astronomical medicine, I've been having fun going to other realms like physics and geophysics, finding tools there, and now bringing that to the medical community in order to bring physics and medical data together. So just lots of fun working with everyone.